Mecha Ish here, and today we're going to be talking about Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends first appearance Daredevil. Let's do it.
Step out of your world and
Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Daredevil first appearance costume variant, and this is awesome, and I can't wait to open them up and get more in depth with you guys about this figure. But let's take a quick look at the box and the window box packaging that is standard for all the Marvel Legends. Take it on down. We got his emblem, DD, and in case you don't know what it is, Daredevil. And we got a great view of Daredevil in his original costume, which he debuted in, with his alternate head of Matthew Murdock and the red batons there. Marvel Legends Infinite Series Daredevil. Let's turn it on to the side, and we got some great artwork of Daredevil. I love the artwork they've been putting on all these packages. It is sweet. We'll love to have it in poster form and hang those bad boys up. And let's take a look at the back of the package here, standard with a, I don't know if that's actually a figure picture or somebody drew that, but anyways, wearing his original yellow costume, Matt Murdock is fearless as Daredevil. Yep, the man without fear. And you can see this is a variant that was put out, it seems, with the recent Rhino BAF wave in the Spider-Man Legends line. You see the characters there: Scarlet Spider, Superior Venom, Marvel's White Tiger, Kraven, Chameleon, and Ghost Rider. But the original Daredevil that they put out was actually, well, not the original Daredevil. It's the one in his modern, more iconic red uniform, which came out in the Hobgoblin BAF wave. I think that was a wave before this, the Rhino wave. So, hey, glad to have it. First appearance Daredevil, man without fear. Let's do it. Now, I wanted to show you something that will largely go unnoticed, because most people are just going to rip the plastic tray out and throw everything else away. But I'm going to show you something that I thought was pretty cool, and I appreciate it very much. Look at that. In the inside of this box, which is just, you know, normal cardboard, they actually put his logo in it, which is cool. You would think just by looking at the outside of the package, got a red background, but actually the DD logo is there, representing hard Daredevil is. And that's pretty awesome. I appreciate you, Hasbro. Good job. Took him out of the packaging. Excited to have him in hand. And I wanted to give you guys a quick 360 view. As you can see, the yellow, the red, the dark red, his first appearance costume. And if you guys been checking out the Netflix series, it's pretty awesome to have another Daredevil figure, because that series is sweet. And if you guys haven't checked out Daredevil Yellow by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, awesome read. Please check it out. But yeah, it talks more about his origins, and great to have this. The last time was a Spider-Man Classics variant first appearance Daredevil, and here we have an updated for those of you guys who weren't able to get it back then. But yeah, glad to have it. Let's get more in depth. So now let's talk about what comes packed in with this Daredevil. And here we have a Matt Murdock head. This is how he looks when he's fighting crime by day in the courtroom. And we have the iconic glasses with the red tint shades, right? And his red head, which is sculpted pretty well. You see the sculpt work there. The lines are nice. There's some issues with the paint where the tip of his bangs aren't painted fully, but it's alright. You get the idea. This is Matt Murdock. We'll love a suited version. Alright, that'll be cool, but you know, Marvel Legends don't really do that. But happy to have this. The previous release that came out with the Ultimate Hobgoblin did not have an alternate head, so I'm happy to have this. I'll be popping his head on that body and showing you guys in a little while, so stay tuned for that. So I just want to show you guys how to pop the head off without worrying about breaking it. Snaps right off. You heard that snap. And we have the Matt Murdock head here, which I'm going to slide right on. Let's see how easy this is going to be if I can. Very slippery, dude. What are you putting on your hair? And there you go, Matt Murdock. Here I have the red Daredevil. I'm going to pop his head off. Put the Matt Murdock head. Gotta be careful, something. Gotta give it a little wiggle. Wiggle, 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 go. Yep. When you have kids, you know what that is. And that looks pretty cool. Yeah, very cool, actually. So I just want to show you guys something real quick. It ain't rocket science, but we got his billy clubs, and we have a gigantic pouch there that's about the length of his left thigh. But I'm going to show you where they store. They go right inside that pocket. You can put one here, and this one, of course, with the peg is longer, and it's going to show while stored away. A little bit longer, not bad, you know, whatever. Glad they have it. So that's how you do it. Pro tip. Alright, so I want to give you guys a breakdown of his articulation, his paint and sculpt, and the articulation standard for the Marvel Legends, especially using the male body here. We got a rotation of the head, 360, goes up, very good range of motion with the hinge, and it looks all the way down. We got the ab crunch going on there. We also have a waist swivel. With his arms, we have a shoulder hinge and we have a bicep swivel. His shoulder also rotates 360 degrees. He has a double joint at the elbow. You see, no forearm cut, but he does have rotation at the wrist. Plus, he also has a hinge at the wrist. Going down to his legs, he can kick up very high. I mean, he is a ninja, right? He goes to the side. Not bad. Good range of motion there. He has a thigh cut there, rotation. Double jointed knees, which is excellent to have. A lot of articulation, as you can see. He also has the boot cut, which rotates all the way around. He has a hinge at the ankles. And he has ankle pivot, ankle rocker, which is great. So yes, Daredevil has a ton of articulation points, as he should have, being that he's one of the greatest fighters in the Marvel Universe. He's a ninja. He's very agile. He should have a lot of articulation, and he does. Now, we have a great sculpt here. The problem is it's the same sculpt work that we've seen for years now. We got the Bucky Cat mold on the body, hyper muscular, you know, a lot of detail there with the sculpt. I love it. I mean, it's a great body mold. It's just after a while you get sick of seeing the same body type after body type after body type. But, you know, it works for Daredevil. The head sculpt is, you know, they work a lot on the head sculpt because they're using the same body mold. But the head sculpt is great. You see the scrunched up eyes. You see the details in his jaw and his lips and his cheeks. So they did an excellent job sculpting the head of Daredevil. You can see the horns nicely sculpted, the eyes itself. So pretty much it. I mean, everything else is standard fare. I wish they would do some sculpt work on the gloves, on the boots, which they just want to paint on all the time, which is a little frustrating. But let's talk about that paint. Now, I've been a big fan of this first appearance Daredevil. I love the color scheme. I love the yellow and red. It all works, in my opinion. And one thing I love about the paint job on his head sculpt, you know I love the head sculpt, but the paint job is just as good. It's nice and clean, which is very important in any action figure I collect. If the paint is nice and clean and it's separated and there's no bleeding, then you know you got a great paint job, right? You got his yellow, nice and clean mask, which goes right into the flesh tone of his nose and his jaw. Everything looks great there. His eyes, that nice red, there's no slop, there's no bleed over. Great job with the paint over that beautiful head sculpt. And you can see that his bright yellow goes down in the V all the way to his chest. And you have that dark red, but this bright red D, his logo here, is outlined. So they did a great job. There's no spillage. There's no bleeding on that red. You don't see any breakthrough of the dark red underneath going over into the bright red. It's very clean. And then they have the black outline. And just a great job. Great job. And you, of course, the paint work here is nice. You have the arms. You know, there's a problem now when we go into the forearms. So as you can see, the forearms are painted on, not sculpted. Not a big fan of that, because you know, the lines going over the musculature of his forearms, it's gonna make it seem uneven, right? But whatever, it's okay. And then you got these bright red circles, a little bleed through. They could have been painted a little better. Again, I just wish it was sculpted, and I know I'm not alone in that. And it's the same with the other arm. And let's go on down. His belt, which is a separate piece that was glued on, is painted pretty well. You know, it pretty much matches up with the bright D. Maybe another coat, but it looks good. No complaints here. The pouch, nice paint. Also a separate piece, and it matches very well with the belt. Going down, now this is where the biggest paint issues, the paint flaws, in my opinion, come through. You look at this bright yellow leg, and then it goes right into his calf, right? And look at the boot, where the boot cut is. I think they did, the line work is clean. The problem is you're putting this yellow over the dark red, and just do a few more coats. Make it match up with this yellow. It looks like it's such a rush job, and that this yellow is just fading out, and it doesn't look good at all. At all. Not a big fan of that. They probably would have been better off here just leaving the dark red up to the boot cut and leaving it alone. And then, you know, nobody would have said anything. But, yeah, so it doesn't match up. The yellow of the leg with the yellow of the boot does not match up at all. So a few more coats would have been great. And then we have the circles. Now the circles are painted nicely. These are nice circles, yada yada, but then they're not even. they're not going down the middle of his boot, right? They should be coming from, let's take a look at his, this leg over here, his left leg. Look how the arrow of the boot goes up, right? The upper part of the boot. And then his, I don't know what these are supposed to be, buckles. These are red circles go this way instead of going straight down to the hinge. So, you know, it's a little rush job over here with the boots. It's not clean. And that's the only, well, the biggest problem I have with the paint. You know, and you see this on a lot of figures where they tend to just paint the boots, paint the forearms, and it'll be so much better for everyone if they just sculpted it. But I know they're trying to save money. But, you know, it's, I mean, I'm not buying the figure based on his boots. But overall, it's a good figure. The paint work could have been a little better. Like the sculpt job. Love the articulation. And this is first appearance Daredevil. So, I wanted to give you guys a side-by-side look of the first appearance Walgreens variant Daredevil and the more modern Daredevil from the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure wave. You know, both great figures. It's exactly the same sculpt and articulation. The paint work is obviously different because they're different costumes. And I will have to give the nod, even though this is more simpler, you know, his modern look, he has bright red, dark red. I have to give the nod to this Daredevil because the paint job that they did on the boot cut is just so notable, and it's a little upsetting, to be honest. And you can see it's uneven with the bright red circles. But other than that, great figures. I'm happy to have them. I will be displaying them proudly in my collection. Thank you so much for checking out my review on the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive first appearance Daredevil variant. Very cool figure. Very happy to have it. Unfortunately, I was a little bummed out with the paint job going down in the boots. Hasbro, you can do much better than that. But overall, I'm happy. And he comes with an alternate Matt Murdock head, which is pretty sweet. Add some displayable options for both figures. So hopefully you can still pick this up at Walgreens on the corner of Happy and Healthy. Everybody knows that. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. You know what to do. Peace.